Cool. All right, that is the once we'll say Shakespeare-ish stout clone. Yeah, it's I'll explain what I did. So this is your basic BYO Shakespeare stout clone. Minus, I think it's the 120 crystal. I added in Special B, USO 5 instead of Pac-Man, Chinook hops instead of are they Cascade? I can't remember, but anyway, yeah. Then also a pound and pound 10 ounces, something like that of flaked oats. So it's kind of strayed from the basic Shakespeare stout clone. And let's see, the gravity, beginning gravity, this was 1075. There's also 3 ounces of coffee, whole bean, cold steeped, while it was forced carbing in secondary. So yeah, so you guys know about that. If you watched my last video, you know what I did. But anyway, it's really good. 3 ounces of coffee for 48 hours seems to be spot on. The coffee's not overpowering. You still taste the stout. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a few minutes when I sit down. But anyway, all right, guys. Let's talk about this stuff. So you're looking at that. So what I got here, I've got the quick disconnects, right, for the gas side, and just a basic. There's some leftover gas line that I have. So then I've got some gas quick disconnect and a fitting from Brew Hardware. So now I can put this on for active fermentation, so it'll blow off. And when I'm done, say cold crashing or whatever, I just take it off and it's sealed. So there's no suck back, no whatever. Another advantage is going to give me, it's going to be closed transfer with a CO2 push, just ever so slight pressure, not much. These lids can't handle too much from what I've read. So anyway, yeah, we'll talk more about that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I had this week. I mean, all the new stuff I put that on there here. Oh goodness, let me get this. Click, you son of a bitch. All right, that's it, guys. Let's go sit down. We'll talk about. All right, B's and G's. So that's that. Yeah. So that's an idea I've been kicking around for a while. Just something quick and easy. Yeah. So tonight's. Oh, I forgot my whole spiel, right? So today is Tuesday afternoon. I'm out of schedule, off my routine. Everything's messed up. So today's actually Tuesday. It's Tuesday afternoon. I am off work until January 2nd. So that means tomorrow's Wednesday! Homebrew Wednesday! And tomorrow, I'm actually going to brew on Wednesday. I'm going to brew my first ever. Let's see, I'm going to brew an IPL. So I'm going to brew India Pale Lager. And what I've done, I'm going to use the same hop schedule, hop bill. Is what I did with the last IPA I just brewed. Basically, same grist, same hop schedule, same IBUs, hopefully same original gravity. I've been doing too much research. Some people say to tone back your IBUs on an IPL. Some people say just take your basic favorite IPA recipe and just ferment it with a decent lager yeast. And some people say bump up the IBUs a little bit more based on whatever yeast you're going to use, just because it'll actually kind of strip that bitterness and you know, yeast. You know how yeasties work. But anyway, so I've got a little bit of research to do and a little bit of thinking to do about that. But anyway, I'll probably let it ride, do the same thing, and try to replicate that beer. 99% the same, except for the yeast and fermentation schedule. So, what yeast am I going to use? Well, being that it's Tuesday and I wanted to brew tomorrow, and I got this idea Monday, I didn't have time to order any yeast off the internet. So I was at my local homebrew shop today. I picked up those quick disconnects for the kegs, for my fermentation buckets, brew buckets, and they had Czech Pilsner. They had the Czech Pilsner, some other kind of. Then they had a Kolsch yeast. It's all liquid Y yeast, and which, you know, that could work just fine. But I didn't want to make a starter. I want to brew tomorrow, so I want to make sure I got enough yeast. And they didn't have the Bohemian lager yeast that I wanted, so they had S23, the yellow safe lager. So I've got that, which I did some research real quick, and I say real quick research. I think Brewilosophy did a did a comparison between the Bohemian lager yeast, the dry Bohemian lager yeast, in that yeast, and they couldn't tell the difference between the two after they got fermented out and crashed and carbed, all that stuff. So I went ahead and I got a couple packs of that because this is going to be about a 1070 beer. So yeah, that should be pretty much it. So I'll get some footage of that. So we'll talk about this a little bit more. So if you guys watched the video, I put in 3 ounces of just the Colombian Supremo coffee that I get from Sam's, the whole bean. It's not a dark roast, it's a medium dark roast. I drink it that's what I drink every morning, and I like it, so I decided to go ahead and put it in my beer. So I put it in the stainless steel canister, and I didn't connect the hooks like I usually do, and the canister fell into the keg. So after a few minutes of scratching my ass and figuring out what I'm going to do, I went ahead and just went ahead and force carbed it in there. So 2 days, I usually force carb at 30 psi for 48 hours, and that works great for me. So it's also about as much time as I wanted to put the beans in there. So when that was done, I pulled it out, connected my out-to-out, used the CO2 to push the Star Sand out of one keg into another keg, so that also filled it with CO2. So at that point, I connected the full keg to the CO2 full keg, rearranged all my fittings, pushed everything out, adjusted my Sputnik valve so everything would flow nice, and it went flawlessly. It was perfect. I was absolutely amazed. So that really spurred me to go ahead and try the old low to no oxygen CO2 transfer out of primary, which I don't do secondary unless I'm aging a beer. So that probably would have helped me with that IPA, because the hops plugged up the dip tube in my brew bucket, and that would have maybe given a little bit of oomph to kind of push that blockage through there. So, but anyway, really that's it, guys. So I got some video of me doing the CO2 transfer, this stout, and this stout is just good. There's just enough coffee in it, and you can still taste the stout. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. It's a good winter beer. It's a good breakfast stout. Oatmeal coffee breakfast stout. Anyway, all right, guys. You guys will watch a little bit of video, and I'll get some video of me brewing tomorrow, and you guys will see that next week. It's going to be pretty exciting. Probably not, but anyway, all right, guys. That's it. Cheers. Peace. All right, what I'm doing right now, I'm transferring the Star Sand from the clean keg to an empty keg. So I'm trying to, at the same time, kind of get my settings done so I know where I'm at. And yeah, so right now I've got this. It doesn't really show up on the gauge how many psi it's pushing, but if you listen, to the holes right here. It's just, you can hear the oxygen coming out as it fills with CO2 and pushes the starter sand out. So anyway, that's what I'm doing, winging it. So yeah, everything's pretty good. Alright, now I'm pushing. So, pushing from this keg. It's the CO2 in. This is the beer outside. So this is the beer outside. That's the CO2 in. So I'm using the CO2 to vent. So you can see I got, well, this thing's confusing to me because I'm venting at, you know, less than 30 psi here, but the gauge is only reading, you know, like 2.5. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and continue pushing it. Anyway, I did not drain the CO2 out of that one, so that was still sitting at 35 psi, but it pushed into here, so it equalized, and I may have just messed up, but anyway, I'm gonna roll with it and see what. So I'm getting pretty close to halfway. I think once I get up to probably in that area, I'm gonna go ahead and take the spudning valve off and just burp the keg. I don't want to get foam into that assembly. Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever get it out. I don't know if I could ever get it clean, but anyway, that's the plan. I'm going to charge the hill. The one thing that I forgot, and I'm an asshole, last Thursday I received a beer mail from Mike J. Now Mike has a channel. He's been posting here or there. He's got a really nice setup in a shed. It looks to be behind his house, but it's super nice. And yeah, he had hit me up, I think 2 weeks ago, and asked me for an address if I'd be interested in some beer mail. And I said, well, sure. And beer mail is quite the name for it. He sent me 14 stinking beers. Majority of those homebrew. Yeah, total. I just absolutely dropped my jaw on the floor. Yeah, I was absolutely surprised. I had no idea. So yeah, majority of these beers are beers that he sent me, and he didn't just send me, you know, some nice beers. He sent me, yeah, some yeah. Whoa! As that falls down, he sent me some really nice commercial beers, meaning like Weyerbacher, you know, Sunday Mole, and that was 2017. And oh man, he just, yeah. And on top of that, he sent me a box of chocolates, candy bars, a coaster with his personal breweries information on it, a homemade fruitcake. So yeah, it was pretty amazing, pretty stinking. I don't know. I'm really gonna have to work to repay that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I was absolutely speechless. He said some beers, but I had no way thought he was going to send me that much stuff. But anyway, hey, look, while I'm in here, Enjoy By is a brute this year. This one is a brute, and if you guys haven't had the Fear Moves Lions Unfiltered Double IPA from Stone, fucking delicious. But anyway, all right, guys. Yeah, I'm still floored. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, it's that's quite the gift.